would you marry you?
Absolutely.
No, and the reason I asked,
I'm gonna be honest with you on this question. Yes, I would marry me. Yes, I would.
And the reason I asked that, not to knock you or anybody, is that was something that my husband asked me, like when we've had conversations before. And one of the things is that his thing is, we have a tendency to always look at the other person, right? When we feel like our needs aren't being met, right? So it's just like, if he only did, or if she only did, then things would be so much better. So in one of our conversations, he had asked me, one, he was like, do you think you're an easy person to live with? And then two, would you marry you? And for me, I had to really think about that question, because my initial reaction, of course, everybody's going to see themselves as this wonderful person, right? But when you really self-reflect and be like, yo, what is my ish? What do I be bringing to this table that could potentially cause issues for somebody else, right? So my initial answer was like, yes, I'm the bomb. I do this, I do that. Da, 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 da. But then when I like really sat back and thought about it, came back to him, was like, you know what? You're right. I would want to be married to me for these reasons, but I can see this aspect of me, I would probably be hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And so that gave me a point of reference to some things that I should be working on, because it's not just about me, in this relationship. But I think a lot of times as individuals in a relationship, we do focus on our individual needs more than focusing on, let's say, waking up every morning saying, how can I make my other half happy?
I do that all the time. That's
what can I do today
That's
to
what I
make
do.
that other person happy? Or, or what can I do even for me? Like, what can I do for myself to make me happy? So when that person does something, it just adds on to what I'm already feeling. So I definitely think that, having an understanding. And I realized that when we got married, neither one of us had an understanding of who we were. And I think the younger you get married, the less of that you have. And it forces you to grow together, because you're going through this learning process, together. Like, I realized I had no clue who I was. I started off with trying to be everything I thought that he wanted, right? And so I kind of lost myself, like, oh, he want to have sex like this. All right, let me do this. Let me do it like that. Oh, he wants, a woman that cooks. Oh, his mother's a cooker. Okay, let me step my game up with the cooking. And I was trying to be all of those things for him to win him, even though that really wasn't necessarily who I was, because I was still learning about who I was. And so then when that shift came, I'm like, you know what? I'm figuring out more that, this is who I am. No, I don't like doing this, so what can we do to readjust that? Because that was very hard for him to adjust to, that I started becoming a different woman than what he married, but that's inevitable. So, yeah, so that's why I was asking. Do y'all believe in having everything equal in a relationship?
No.
No? Do you, Della? Okay. What about, so
I'm
who
not trying to lift no heavy boxes. Take out the
well,
trash.
when I say equal, I mean, I guess I need to better define that, because I think a lot of times when people say, like, when we talk about relationships, and especially for men, it's like, oh, women always talk about they want everything to be equal. They bring up like, oh yeah, I can't, you want to lift these heavy boxes, you want to do this. But what I meant by equal is having equal say, having equal responsibility. Although the responsibilities may be different, are they equal? Like, Tay, he takes out the trash. That's his things. But as part of being equal, his thing was, okay, well, if I take out the trash, then you need to put the trash bag in the garbage. right?
If there ain't a trash bag in there, just put it in there.
Right. And
if dinner ain't cook the dinner. If you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be thinking,
I don't tit for tat,
balance more
but
so than
it has
equal.
to be
Because it's like, I'm not trying to be in the driver's seat all the time.
Right. And so
I just want to
that was the thing. Like, I want that equality, but I think sometimes the equality turns into tit for tat, right? And that's not what I was talking about. It's like, if you take out the garbage, you take out the garbage. I understand there are going to be some roles or things that I cannot do as a woman, right? I can't lift 130-pound box by myself, right? But you can. So the expectation is that you do it, right? You can't have kids. I can. So of course the expectation is that I'm going to do it. But in terms of equality, I just kind of wanted to get y'all feedback on what that looks like. Or do you feel like when you're going in, you understand that you're going to be carrying more of the load, or vice versa, he is going to be carrying more of the load?
So in my fantasy world, if I must go into a partnership, which is fine, which means that we're paying half the bills, then, I scratch her, but, we do things together. Like, maybe this time I saw that I'm a person, I cannot stand dishes being in the sink. So I'm going to wash them, and I will hope that he would do the same if it were vice versa. I hope it's not considered tit for tat, but we will help out. Now, if my man were doing more of something, then I would have to do more of something else, if that's what you're asking, right?
I definitely align more with, equity over equality. Like, everyone's needs are different. And so I'm not going to treat you the same way that you treat me, in the sense that you have different needs than I have. And so, I'm looking for more of the balance in meeting each other's needs. So, even in life, I don't really care for equality because everyone's needs are different.
I like the equity aspect, equity as opposed to equality. I'm going to start using that language. You're right. No, you're right. I mean, as an educator, we're taught that all the time, right? That all students' needs are different and you meet them where they are. So being equal and being fair are kind of two different things, right? Same thing as being equitable and being, equal. So yeah, I need to start using that language. You're absolutely right.
And I think we're equal in our excellence, in our different gifts. That's it. We're equal. We're same but different, but that doesn't mean we're less than each other. We're unequal. It just means that we are excellent in different spaces. We're all excellent, but just in different spaces. That's it.
But I would say this: everybody's relationship is going to be different. If you're pulling more weight than your partner, if you feel like you're stressing out and it's because your partner's not pulling their weight, then there needs to be a conversation, because that's not fair. That's an unfair situation that you're in.
Agreed.
So I think that it's hard to say until I find a mate that can give you a real life situation. But only you can say what's too much for you, or what you because it's just not a one size fits all type of situation. Because I would look for more balance than I would, because I think some equality or whatever.